of now my mouse is doing this thing where it's not clicking on stuff. So I think it's just my computer. I've been working it too hard, but I am monopolizing your your chat stuff. Like, what is new with you?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I'm just like rambling because I'm like, blah, 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 and you're like, yeah, yes.
Sorry,
that is very interesting.
I'm like right now. I'm focused on like, I have to like, oh fuck, there's the shadows. I have to see it. So all right, 4 weeks.
Oh, so a month then. I was gonna say. It's like it's not gonna take too long. It's only gonna take 4 weeks. Isn't that a month, man?
Yeah.
It's like shut up. It's totally not. I mean, it's not a month.
You know, a month is better than I'll get it done eventually.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Right now it's like I have all these like extra key exposures when like the hair isn't actually changing that I need to like sort through and figure out which one of these keys actually has something changing on it.
Speaking of which, let me put your name in the thing in the chat. Caster, Chips, and Solstice.
Wait, what? I don't know what you're doing. I assume it's something.
It's a mod command called for Nightbot called Caster. Basically, I just entered the name of the streamer I want to get shout out to, and then it'll tell them like, hey, XYZ is now live.
Okay.
What it also helps me do is if I want to open your thing in a new tab, I can do that. Close tabs to the right.
All right. Yeah. So
come on,
that's computer. What I'm up to right now. Yeah, things have been good lately. I've been doing a lot of like traveling and just sort of hanging out and doing other stuff, hanging out with the lady friends.
Nice. Moon the Troller writes, "Hello there."
What?
So, sorry, like I have people in my chat too.
Oh, hey. All right, I'll let you.
Oh no, you're good. He just said hi.
That's true.
So yeah, so I'm just like I gotta do that thing where I'm like, okay, well, like everybody take 5 while I like go tell everybody else that I'm streaming right now.
Right, exactly.
Because today was one of those like it was a great day, but then I obsessed over something and then it stopped being such an amazing day, and now I'm kind of like, why?
That sucks, man. Those are like that's the worst.
Mhm.
Yeah, I started meditating last year, and that helped surprisingly a lot with that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's like an app I use called Headspace, which is like, it's like classes basically that you kind of take through the app.
Oh, for
it's like
for meditation or just in general?
For meditation. So there's like different there's like the foundation courses where it kind of teaches you the basic techniques.
Cool.
And then there's like specific ones for like anxiety or like depression or like even like for like sports, like maintaining focus and stuff like that.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to try that out because like every time I try to get into meditation, like I can get into the like moo state, like like absolute nothingness state.
Yeah.
But it takes a while, and then once I'm there, I'm like, okay, but now what?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And this gives you like they're like guided, but then there's so they're guided, but there's a lot of like empty space depending on how long you set it for. You can do it from like 5 minutes to like an hour.
Interesting.
Like however long you want it. And he'll just come in with a prompt every now and again. So yeah, it's super helpful.
That's good because I find like my space for meditation is usually found in the work. Where it's like
exactly.
Because like I'll be like if I'm meditating but I'm not doing anything, then I'll start to get restless, and that restlessness will sleep into my empty space.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm working, or rather I'm not working while I'm streaming, but if I'm just like kind of like working or like running or like doing something physical where I'm not interacting with anybody, then everything goes into that, and I'm just like, oh wow, like 3 hours passed and I did all the things.
Right, exactly. It's basically about training yourself to get in the zone. I think even like if you've read those Walt Stanchfield books.
Nope.
What are they called?
I wouldn't know. I've never read them.
No, Drawn to Life. The book that's like a collection of Walt Stanchfield ran the life drawing stuff at Disney for a while, and he would like give out, he would like write a memo every week, and it's just a collection of those memos, and a lot of that is like him talking about sort of using that exact space like in drawing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Muma writes, have I ever, do you know someone named Jonathan Young? You're gonna have to be slightly more specific on that one.
That actually sounds like a familiar name.
Well, the problem with that is that that's that's so much a familiar name as it's like Colin Bird. You're not gonna come across very often.
Yeah.
Martin Walker, sure. Somebody calling themselves Marty Walker, not so much.
Yeah.
Jonathan Young's kind of vague.
That's true.
So kind of gotta be slightly more specific. I think I do actually know a Jonathan Young, but I don't think the world is that small that whoever Muma's talking about is the same Jonathan Young.
That's true. Unless it's like a famous person.
Yeah, well, even then.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we got the Twitter out of the way. Let me actually check if there's somebody in my Facebook named Jonathan Young.
Yeah, I just did, and I don't have anyone. Oh, hey.
Oh, somebody's in your chat?
Vi219. Yeah, I don't know.
So, Vi219 is apparently creeping on the tomb. Yep.
Yeah.
So, apparently there is a musician named Jonathan Young.
Oh, okay, that might be what I'm thinking of.
There is... apparently there is a Jonathan Young who lives in Sweetland, Maryland, who has 3 mutual friends. There's a separate Jonathan Young who has another mutual friend. And then there is another Jonathan Young who lives in Atlanta who has a mutual friend who is just basically also friends with a famous person that I follow, and I friended them just to be able to follow them. Yeah. So, gotta be slightly more specific with this Jonathan Young.
Actually, I'm not sure how well this hair is working as is, and if I need to redo it at all.
Let's see.
So I need to test that. Yeah. Oh. Hey, Travis. I think I know. I mean, I only know like one Travis, so. How's it going, dude?
Crimson Fly, Silly Wing. Alright, so. Cool, so I've told all of, Alright, so let's reblog that for schedule for 9 p.m. because it's almost 8 o'clock right now, which is kind of frustrating. That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to take too long.
Yeah.
At 9 p.m. schedule. I was going to do a warm-up, but I don't think I'll have the time while you're here. Because it'll be 9 o'clock and then... Or it'll be 8 o'clock soon, and I'm going to probably stream until 10. And then stop. And then I don't really know what I wanted to do a warm up, but I botched this evening, so scheduled for 9 p.m. I don't think God, this promo stuff takes a while.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
what are you rigging for? Sorry, I'm talking to the chat.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Buddy. Yeah. What are you? Is it for like a freelance gig or is it like a personal project? Is it that same thing that you were telling me about earlier, I assume? Yeah, I'm just gonna in between this as is.
So yeah, I think my problem is that I'm like spread out way too thin. I feel like you told me this at one point.
Oh, that you were spread out too thin?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been telling you that for like 7 years.
But I only started doing the Crimson Fly in 3 years ago. 2 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know.
Have I always been that weird? Like that's like overreaching?
No. It was been since the whole Crimson Fly thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably only been like 3 years I've been telling you that, but.
Cause
yeah.
I guess it's like figuring out what exactly to cut. Cause I feel like nothing is either blowing up so hard or like failing so badly that I can say with a straight face that, okay, well, this is very obviously not working. Let's stop doing the thing. Like, I think the only time I did something like that was when I stopped working, going on Tapastic for the Crimson Fly, and even Tapastic, that was one of those. That's a very easy one to cut because not because it's doing better or worse, but because the controversy was such that I'm like, there's going to be another controversy later on, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah. There's controversy on Tapastic.
Yeah. So like a while ago back, they had that issue with they changed their terms of service.
Okay.
And so in their terms of service, they said, okay, well, we get right of first refusal. AKA, if you want to option this off in another medium, either to another publisher to print, or to you decide that you want to make a cartoon out of it, or want to take it somewhere else, we get the right to make an offer first before you go do that. And normally that's like something that the owner gets to do for the publisher or the distributor, not the other way around. And everybody's like, that's kind of fishy, but we'll stick with it. And then I found out that they used to be called Comics Panda, and when they were first starting out, they were taking other people's comics and putting them on their own site without permission.
Okay.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
So, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Right.
Even if I've never actually been fooled yet, I don't want to be in a position where I'm going to get fooled eventually.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. So I dropped Tapastic, and I haven't put it up as a static place anywhere else yet.
Gotcha.
Muma the Troller writes, how does the process of making episodes of a TV show start off? Actually, you know what? I have a professional animator here who can answer that. You mind if I pass it off to you? Because I don't feel like shoving my foot in my mouth.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the show. So there's two different kinds of animated shows. There's what's called script-driven and what's called storyboard-driven. And what that means is that sort of so SpongeBob is a storyboard-driven show, which means that the storyboard artists are given like a rough outline of the basic beats of the story, and then they sort of write the story as they board it out. They do all the dialogue and stuff, and flesh out all of the acting beats. But it's very much like a visually driven show, more than like a dialogue-driven show. And then script-driven shows are stuff like The Simpsons or Family Guy or Rick and Morty, where everything starts with the script, and then the artists are handed the script, and then they board it from there. Yeah, I mean, they both have their advantages and disadvantages, depending on what kind of show you're trying to make, but that's normally that's the first step in the creative process, at least. The actual, like, the pitching and production stuff is like a whole other can of worms, and like contracting and stuff, but I assume you are talking more about the creative aspect.
That's what I'm assuming too.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as I know, that is generally how things kind of start off.
I love how you say, as far as I know, as if I've never worked on a TV show before.
That's
or
true.
Several TV shows before.
That's true.
Just saying.
Well, I mean, I normally jump on a little bit later than the writing process. Like, you know, yeah, I guess we're normally ended. I normally work from like the script process, and I've never worked on a board-driven show, so yeah. But yeah. That's my 2 cents.
And what amazing 2 cents those are.
Yeah.
Hold up 2 seconds. Let me okay, work files, because we're just gonna jump straight into Crimson Fly. On Wednesday and Friday we'll have a warm-up of some sort, but tonight we're just gonna drop it straight into Crimson Fly, simply because I did not plan this properly, and I apologize. Like that seems to be my life in a nutshell. It's like, on paper I am the most well-organized person in the world.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I describe what my plans are for any given thing, everybody's like, so yeah, that sounds really awesome. I'm like, I guess, because that's not usually how that tends to work out.
Yeah, I mean, and that goes with the stretching yourself too thin thing, where it's like, it's all very well regimented and well planned as long as you are 100% perfect, and there's very little stretch room for there's very little allowance for you to get sick,
Well, yeah,
to be tired or
Which is interesting, because my sister was asking me, she's like, hey, so San Diego Comic-Con. And I was like, yes. And she's like, you should go. And I'm like, that's not happening. She's like, why not? And I just kind of actually had to stop and think, wait, why isn't that happening?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would try to, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know what I would recommend cutting either, but I think if you had like a smaller scope that was like that you could like accomplish super well, it would leave you in better. You would at least, you know, mental health wise, you would be able to, you know, whatever. I don't know how I'm finishing that sentence. But,
well, yeah, because yeah, well, the reason for I think well, no, because like I always tell people, like if this wasn't an animated comic book, then I could probably do 5 pages a week, 5 strips a week, and not really super stress about it.
Exactly.
But it's animated, which means I can only put out 1 a week.
Yeah, and I've been sort of thinking about the same thing with Ghost Kid as I plan to start doing that again. Which is for anyone on Colin's stream, which is my animated web comic thing that has 3 strips out, and then I, you know, got busy with work and couldn't keep up with it.
Oh, and 2 seconds, Chips. So Rain Novel writes, "Hey, I saw you lurking the other day. Haha, I'm gonna return the favor and lurk a little while I get some work done. Much appreciated, Rain. Always greatly appreciated. And yeah, I like to lurk on people's stuff. Rain Novel does basically a writing stream, wherein they take audience suggestions for their writing projects. It's really cool.
Nice.
And then shiitake mushrooms. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, no, Chips. If you could like leave a link to the Ghost Kid Tumblr, that would be greatly appreciated.
Oh yeah, in your
chat.
Yeah, let me drop that off. Yeah. Hold
Much appreciated.
Copy that and go to your chat, and there it goes. Yeah, so that's that. And as I reboot it, it might be. I'm considering just doing the still version and like polishing those up, and then doing like an animated one every now and again, where it's like it's sort of like the animated one is the Sunday strip.
Which I think would be a shame, but that's me personally, and I don't think I would click my teeth, but you can't hear it over the mic. Tut tut, Chips. Tut tut. I am disappointed in you. So disappointed. I'm just kidding.
Exactly, and it's like it's a thing where this is garbage, but let me finish this and then decide what to fix later. Sorry, talking to myself.
It's amazing how that works for animators.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing where it's like I want to find a way to make it accomplishable consistently. Like if I wanted it to be something that I took kind of more seriously, because I don't know how I could backlog unless like I focus, because there's sort of 2 kinds of Ghost Kid strips. As is, there's the ones that are like the simple loops, and then the ones that are like a sort of 10-second
animation
story.
Yeah.
And if I focus on the ones that are simple loops, then I might be able to pump them out. So maybe like the loop versions will be the ones that'll be equivalent to like what I'm thinking of as the stills right now. I don't know. I'm tossing around some things. Although like most of my ideas that I have are for like the longer form ones, the like 10 or 15-second ones. I have like a couple that I've like thumbnailed out that I need to like, that I'm gonna, as soon as this dance is done, start actually like working on, which is one of the reasons I want to finish this dance. So it's like, you know.
Well, also you're like,
I don't want to leave this hanging because I really like how it's coming out, and I don't want it to like be another little thing that I just like started and then abandoned.
Wasn't it also supposed to be for something else?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's for like the podcast.
And if you could go into detail for that, for like for anybody who doesn't know what that is.
Okay. It's not released yet.
Get him hype, Chips. Get him hype.
Oh, get him hype. So, I am starting this YouTube show / podcast / whatever you call it, where it's basically, so I'm recording myself animating. It's basically time-lapse footage of that with me and a buddy of mine just riffing on top of it. So it's
Noise.
sort of like the elevator pitch is that it's like Game Grumps, but with time-lapse animation footage instead of video games. So we have like 6 episodes we've already made. It's just we've been working on the intro, and that's what this dance animation's for. It's for the intro.
So wait, so it's Game Grumps meets SkipperWing draws a thing, which is not really mine to copyright, but yeah, I want a shield. Gosh darn it, I want a shield.
Yeah, or any other like speed paint kind of series. Yeah, it's like a comedy speed paint series.
That's cool.
Yeah, is like that's like the concept behind it, and one of the reasons I'm going all out with like the dance animation.
Well, that's what you do, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, and then there's also the fact that if you're watching somebody animate, I want, if this is the intro, I want it to establish the fact that we are like professional, competent animators, and we aren't just like people who just learned it that are kind of dicking around. So I wanted to make sure that like the animation was like kind of the best that I could make it, just to sell myself as like an authority.
I'll say, when don't you do that though?
I don't know, man.
Because I mean, like, you've always been more between the two of us, you've always been the more meticulous animator. I'm like, okay, got it done, cool, on to the next thing, woo! And you're just like,
yeah.
I'm gonna take my time, and then when you're done, you're like, oh my god, that's amazing! How do you do that? And I'll be like, and then you'll be like, I just kind of took my time.
Yeah, you just slow down for a second.
So.
Not that I'm like a slow animator.
No, not by any means.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, you can't be slow and be an animator.
That's true. Yeah. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, especially like personal projects, like I'll tend to dilly-dally a little bit more. There are like times when it's like, I'll spend an entire day where if you asked me what I did, I would say I worked on an animation, but I spent most of the time pacing around my apartment. Like, I do like one drawing and then get up and like walk around for like 20 minutes and then do another drawing.
Yeah, whereas for me, I'll just be like, okay, screw it, we're going, we're good, we did it, we're done, okay, on to the next thing. Wait, but we wanted to do a second take. I said we're done, we're moving on.
Yeah.
Which is why I've never billed myself as a character designer, because I don't do like 50 gajillion takes on something. I'll do like the first 2 takes, and then if I'm happy with it, and I'm like, okay, cool, done. But you did the thing. I'll help him for 3 takes. I'm like, yeah, no, this works as is.
Yeah.
Which is great for for my particular like workflow, because it means when somebody asks me to get something done. Or not, well, and I've made up my mind to get it done, like, it gets done.
Yeah.
But the flip to that is, like, there's all the other, like, baggage and drama that comes with that.
Right, and you're kind of always going with, like, your first instinct, which isn't...
always the best thing. It isn't.
Yeah, it's not always your best, instincts. So, I mean, there's pros and cons. And, yeah, I've been doing that, stupid to say, but, like, so I do a lot of... One of the other reasons I haven't been working on this is that I do a lot of graphic design and small freelance projects, like favors for friends who like need logos for their podcasts that are like really quick. So the time that I would spend working on this, I've been like, designing a business card for like an old client.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
that's always like a mix between I either do a bunch of thumbnails or I just do like one and then it's fine. But I find that when I just sit down and actually do the process that we always preach that we do, and always preach that you're supposed to do, where you like do 6 thumbnails first and then pick your best one, that like I always get a better result.
Yeah, because I don't know, I find that I tend to second guess myself the more versions I make.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, well, this would be cool. Well, this is so cool. And then I never get anything done. So.
Yeah, that's true.
And the thing is that's specifically for me. This doesn't, obviously Chips has a different strat that works for him, and so on and so forth. There's no right way to do this. The only wrong way there's no wrong way to do it. The only wrong way is the way in which you don't see results.
Right, exactly.
Also,
as
Muma.
long as you're personally happy with it, then it's like fine.
So Muma writes, what source portfolio website making would you recommend, Wix or Behance? That's kind of a toughie.
Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own website, blog, or online store.
How much are they paying you to say that?
No, I mean, I don't know. I use a I use a Tumblr, so I'm not the best person to ask, I guess.
Oh no, the reason why I say it is because like that was like the most professional way to have phrased that.
Oh yeah,
Ever.
I
It's
listen
like
to a lot of podcasts, so I have the Squarespace ad 100% memorized. Did you know that each Squarespace template comes with its own unique mobile experience, so your website will look great on any device?
Really? Tell me more.
Yeah. Squarespace also now supports commerce functionality, which means that you can now sell your stuff using the Squarespace platform. So it's really just a one-stop shop.
Is there a promo code that you can give us for for telling us this information, Chips?
Yeah, so if you go to squarespace.com and enter the promo code PartyMarty at checkout, then you'll get a free 1-week trial and a free domain when you sign up. So
alternately, promo code Skip draws a thing for another promo code. Don't actually do that with Chips. Skip draws a thing. I am not sponsored by Squarespace. I do not want to get sued.
Yeah, I am not either. I mean, the best advice I can give you on a portfolio website is to send you mine or others.
I think that's
look good.
I think that's becoming a very complicated topic nowadays. Because back when we were students, like it was very clear you had to have your own website. You had to pay like the $9.99 a month to have a site, to have it maintained and all that jazz, and like social media sites were not really a venue for display because they didn't have the sort of professional like all your art would get lost in how unprofessional your site was because nobody knew how to build websites.
That's true. And yeah, I mean, when I say I have a Tumblr, my Tumblr is set up like a website. I can drop a link in the chat just because I'm going to keep referencing it if that doesn't offend you.
Oh, no, go for it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the flip side to that is that, like, I don't actually direct anybody to any of my professional sites anymore. Because the most professional, like, one, the most professional, and two, the most, I guess, demonstrative of what I do is my Crimson Fly website.
That's true.
Like, it looks good. And if you just flip through a few strips, you have a pretty good sense of what I'm about, what I do, and how I do what I do. To say nothing of the fact that, like, well, I need to update them, but most of the strips link to my YouTube page where you can check out my animations. And similarly, like, most of my stuff that updates is on is either on YouTube or on Instagram, and you just kind of have a pretty good idea of what I'm about from that.
Yeah.
So it's not really worth my while to go, hey, yeah, go to skipperwing.wix.com and check out my my portfolio sites, because it's like that doesn't update. It's a pain in the butt to update, and you're just kind of better off like subscribing to me on YouTube and then checking out my stuff on a weekly basis.
Right, and basically that's sort of what my website's just a landing page that has my demo reel and then links to like my Tumblr and my Instagram and like places where they can. So it's basically exactly the same process and purpose, only instead of like Crimson Fly, it's just my demo reel. And then if you want to see more, like go to my YouTube channel.
Chips and Solstice. Actually, yeah, it is Chips and Solstice, right?
What?
Your demo? Your YouTube.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it doesn't have anything yet because I'm still working on the. It will be the home to that podcast I was mentioning earlier.
Oh, speaking of which, this is like completely unrelated. At some point, could you like link me to the specific URL of that one project we did together for the 24-hour challenge at AI? Mostly because I keep trying to look at it. I keep trying to find it as an inspiration for my students, and then I keep not finding it until it's like 3 weeks after the fact, and I was like, yeah, I was looking for it forever. Why did I not find it?
Are you talking about the butt race?
Oh yeah, the butt race. Because you were the only one who uploaded that. I think you're the only one who still has the files.
Yeah, I mean, it's still on my YouTube channel, it's just unlisted now. So if I look at my channel and then my videos, go like to like one of the first videos I ever uploaded. Yeah, do you want me to throw this in the chat too?
Sure.
Yeah, alright.
I mean, I'm gonna have to also have to grab it from the chat so I can have it just as something I can remember later on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. So back to in betweening this hair.
So, cause like every time I look for it, cause like at the school where I teach, and I mean you know this, but you know for people who are not who don't go to that school or don't have that personal history with me, like we have this thing this quarterly thing called the 24-hour challenge. Actually, we've kind of scaled it back to 12 because the interest isn't there anymore, as much as it could be. Like I mean that was always a problem even back when we were students, where it's like out of like a what 600 like department body, maybe like 25 people showed up on a regular basis. But now it's like there's just not enough interest because not like people either of the people who show up, maybe the same 3 people participate. And again, that's always been like that. Like I don't remember how many I won before I just like, you know what, the prizes aren't worth it, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
I think you won a few too, like individually.
Yeah.
But now it's just it's the same 2 or 3 people competing, and it's like, and it's they're kind of winning for the same stuff. And personally speaking, I'm like, that's, oh hey, you did like 4 illustrations. Back in my day, I did like a full animation that I'm only embarrassed about simply because of the subject matter, and the way that I structured it, but not because of like the amount of work that I got done.
Yeah.
So I wish I inspire them with like, hey, look at me and my friends did in 24 hours. Look at some of the other things I did by myself in 24 hours, and if I can do that, you can do that.
Right. Yeah.
So
I think, that was one of the first. Yeah, I did that one, like hand-drawn animation. It was like it had to be like 11 seconds long or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, which is like totally doable. You know, it was like pretty simple, but it won just because. Yeah.
Well, because everybody was like,
It won on the merit of it being like paper and pencil animation done in 24 hours. Like.
Oh yeah, no, that was my first one too. Like everybody was so brain addled by the end of the evening that they're just like, whoa, we've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Like it was funny because actually that was the first time I met Kaiser. He's not on the stream right now, but that was the first time I'd actually ever met his wife.
Oh, thanks, dude. Sorry, I've missed a couple chats on my thing, but Travis left. Thanks for stopping by. All right.
I mean, well, also part of it is to say you got Bill back. Actually, apparently Slater Animation is watching your stuff. Slater Animation and Nintendo Ninja 64. Nintendo Ninja 60. I am so freaking jealous of that name.
Yeah.
Like it's like I wish I'd taken that. Well, because like when I was in high school, my nickname was a Ninjutsu Jedi.
Yeah. I feel like I remember that. I feel like that was your like DeviantArt handle.
Oh no, it was L Wanker.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever used Ninjutsu Jedi for anything.
Okay.
But it's still a cool name. And then like Nintendo Ninja 64. God, I am so jealous. Yes, I make number noises. Meanwhile, Slatermation says, "Hiya, how you doing, Slater?"
Hey, dude. How's it going, man?
Apparently eating dinner and not typing.
Weighing at 245 pounds.
Hey, Drastic.
What's that mean?
Not much. We're just like 2 animating goofballs and a 3rd illustrating goofball. All right, so that's not dynamic enough. So let's bring that head down a little bit. But yeah. Well, I think also part of the reason why. Whoa, somebody's doing a thing. Righteous Geek is now following. Thanks, Righteous. Totally righteous. See what I did there? It's a lame pun. Because I'm.
You know.
Yeah. In hindsight, I found out how.
Not funny.
Meanwhile, Slater writes, "Oh snap! I forgot I'm on your Discord." Yes, you are. You can totally join the Discord.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think also the reason why it's so quiet on your end is because you're coming back from a long break.
Yeah, and I didn't advertise it at all. You know.
Yeah.
So. But,
So I think that's a lot of it. I think it'll pick up because Like, yeah, no, your animations are freaking amazing. So it's just like a matter of getting the word out there.
Yeah, for sure. I just need to like actually advertise it, and you know, this is like my first time back in a while, so I'll advertise it next week, and then actually like put up my streaming time and all that nonsense now that I'm committing to a schedule.
Mm-hmm. You gonna do one of those like background images?
What background images?
So if I was to go offline right now and not stream anybody else, you would see an image that's like a off card is what I like to call it, because that's not the actual word. But you see an off card where it's the Crimson Fly and SkipperWing standing back to back, and in the middle is my stream schedule as well as the various platforms I'm on.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I like designed the little page or whatever with like about me and all that nonsense. Last time I was streaming a little bit regularly, so maybe I'll go in, do a little bit more branding, work on that.
Cool. Meanwhile, Drastic, how are you doing tonight?
I made a whole bunch of crap for my Twitch page. I made my BRB screen and
yeah,
other screen, and I do need to make like the offline images to do that.
Yeah.
It's funny. Huh? Hello.
Hi.
Hey Slater, how you doing?
Not too bad. Just I got off of cleaning carpets today, so relaxing.
Nice.
I wish I knew what that word meant.
Relaxing?
It's a joke, because I don't do it.
Dude, you should try it, man. It's real nice.
What is this relaxing you speak of?
It's on my bucket list next to sleep.
Yeah. And, you know, watching Glow on Netflix.
I heard that is awesome.
It's actually really good.
Watching what?
I've not seen.
Oh, Glow? It's a new Netflix show. It's like about, there's this,
I know what it's about. It's
Oh, okay.
Well, no, but for those who don't know, if you could like
I had no idea about it, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just like it's got Mark Maron and Allison Brie in it, and some other comedians, and it's about like this wrestling show in the '80s. They're trying to like get off the grounds. It's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a terrible pitch for it, but you know, that's the basics. It's funny. Yeah.
I love how he's like, it's funny, but nobody laughed.
Yeah.
The dry wit of Chips and Solstice strikes again.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's funny that we were talking about how like how I don't do second takes, and yet I just actually did a second take on this strip. Chips, you are infecting me. This is dangerous. You must stop it now.
Yeah, dude. Look, I'm saying I sent you that that design for the Ghost Kid toy.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at my sketchbook, that is like the 12th version of that drawing that I did.
Which is
like.
Which is funny because like our mutual friend Paper Mechanic, I'm giving him that name because that's probably the name that he's gonna use. Like our mutual friend Paper Mechanic is like, as we're talking about the idea of making these things. Okay, well, backstory for those who have no idea what we're talking about. So a friend of ours works for a major toy company. I'm not gonna name the name because I don't want to get him in some sort of weird trouble because I think this is something that he's doing on the back burner.
Well, yeah, I mean he's starting his own company, or he started his own company.
So he works for he works for a major toy company, and on the side he's trying to get his he's trying to get some IPs going to make his own sort of line of toys and stuff. And so what he did is he approached a few of his independent friends and said, "Hey, you ever wanted toys of that thing that you're working on?" And a lot of us said, "Well, sure, why not?" I know it's a break. Come on. Ugh. Sorry, my thing's being dumb. Stop recording and break. So he decided that, so he approached a few of us, and so we're making designs for him. So I'm submitting the Crimson Fly. Chips is submitting his comic Ghost Kid. You can check the chat out for a link for what that's about. And so, as you were, Chips, because I feel like I interrupted.
Yeah. I mean, that was mostly because I was designing in my sketchbook, and so every time I was like, oh, I like this, but I wish his head was tilted a little bit. I wish his head was turned the other way. I would just start the drawing over. So it was just a lot of iterations of the same drawing and thumbnails for one of them, and then the other one was a drawing that I've done so many times that I just shat it out in like 3 seconds.
Nice.
So it's just sort of it depends on the pose. Like if they're just like standing there, you know, and they're just like, "Hey, dude, how's it going?" Like, you know, that drawing takes like 0 effort, and you kind of get it in one. But if it's like a really specific pose, then it's actually like, oh, thumbnails and like doing this right and like figuring everything out.
I feel that. Yeah, see, like for me, like he had to, once he started walking me through it, I'm like, okay, sketch, not working. Okay, cool. Here's the next sketch. Not, well, that's sort of working, but maybe that's a little too complicated. And then we kind of settled on like 2 or 3, and we're just like, yeah, cool, that's it. Boom, we're done.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then once from there, I was just like, okay, we're fine. Boom, done.
Right, exactly. And then mine's like on top of all of those, there's like an entire page where it's like not even drawings, it's just sort of writing down a description of what I think would work, because like the major problem I had with it, for those who don't know, so it's like a toy of a ghost who's always floating and trying to find a way for him to be like on a stand without it like having like wires or like little supports holding him up, and finding a way for him to be like, you know, not standing there but not also like on wires or something lame.
So like the amiibos.
Exactly, yeah, like an amiibo of a flying character, and it's like, oh, how do I do this without
putting a rod up his crotch?
Exactly.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
Whereas like cause like one of the ones that we were working on for me and for between me and Paper Mechanic was basically the Crimson Fly hanging off a wall, and we're like, well, we can't do that yet. And so like, well, so then the go-to was, okay, well, they're gonna be standing and pointing.
Yeah.
Which was like, okay, well, the character's got legs. Let's do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. I'm both super excited, and I'm also kind of not holding my breath, because that's like a huge order. All right, so there's not really much to do with this sketch, so we might either go straight into the inking and painting as soon as I do the lettering. I didn't actually expect this to not take as long as it did, which I suppose is kind of an endemic of what I part of what I want for the Crimson Fly. Because I want it to be one of those things where it's like eventually the whole, well, there's no time for buffering, basically eventually becomes, I am just that fast.
Yeah.
Which is not going to happen anytime soon, but I'd like to dream.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm like filling in details that I really don't actually need to fill in, because I can just do these when I'm inking. But it means that the inking will be that much more detailed, because I'll look at these and go, okay, well, how can I improve it?
Yeah. And finding like shorthand or
yeah, which I'm trying to do with puppets, but it's this sort of weird slow going, because I haven't really figured out what my particular stride is for that.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm working in Flash and not Toon Boom, where that's like that distinction is not as complicated.
Yeah, for sure.
Lost your train of thought?
I don't know. I was just gonna comparing our two projects. Like, what's nice about Ghost Kid is there's a lot of like limits built into the style of it. Where it's like, you know, yours is all very dynamic and very like, you know, big action oriented, and mine is very like purposefully like flat compositions, sort of emulating that style, which makes it like faster to draw, faster to.
Well, plus as a one panel strip where the humor is in in using the visuals to sort of accentuate the punchline rather than being explicitly the punchline. It's a lot easier to, and I say that in a sense, not that it's like, oh, well, yours is more easier than mine, that's why I can, no.
Right.
But in the sense that it's like,
it was planned to be that way.
Exactly.
Like, it is easier than yours because, like, I specifically, I did that on purpose. You know?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Like,
with mine, like I have 4 panels, and I have to figure out which ones are going to be animated, how they're going to be animated, and how that implementation integrates with the interactivity, which actually makes it sound a lot more complicated than it actually is.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, there's like the small like smidges of color, which means that it's like okay, the lab becomes complicated in its own way because like how does that color interact with the rest of the environment and what colors you pick and what have you. Like right now, I'm focusing on this police car. I'm trying to think, okay, well, how the frag am I gonna animate that?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be the sirens, but like their sirens gonna be red and blue, or are they just gonna be black and white? Because I did give them color in the last issue, but I don't remember doing it in the most recent one. And I'm also not filling in these details for the collapsed factory, which again, there's things that are gonna have to be filled in. Because I mean, yeah, I could just leave it up to the viewer's imagination, which I have for like several strips, but it's not really the best practice.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And of course, there's this background that I'm not coloring in right now. But I think also the other reason to work the way we do is because it's necessary. Like I said this before, and I kind of stand by it. If there were like 10 other Crimson Fly strips, and I mean not Crimson Fly, but like animated comic books in this vein, and somebody was doing it way better, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, that's a headache.
Right.
Good luck with that, you psychopath.
Yeah.
But like nobody else is doing this, and I'm like, well, somebody could do something amazing with this, so I'm just kind of stalling until somebody comes along and does this even better than I do it. And I say that not like tooting my own horn. I'm just saying like literally there's flaws in my method, and I'm pretty sure that somebody either smarter or more versed in programming could correct those flaws.
Right. Yeah.
But they're not doing it yet. So in the meantime, guess who's got to step up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I mean that's kind of like very sanctimonious because like I don't have to. It's not like some great burden.
Yeah, but it's like it's a medium that you believe in, and that you wanna. It's a form that you wanna push. Yeah.
I mean, pretty much that.
Right.
So now I'm just going in and sort of refining some of these lines, which I don't have to do. It's weird how much time this did not take in terms of thumbnailing, because normally I'd have to work from a Photoshop file. I keep on the side and say, hey, okay, well this is the thumbnail. We're gonna take that in. But yeah, it's not taking as long as I thought it would.
Yeah, and that's part of like the getting faster thing. As you know, it's not so much drawing faster as it is like
drawing smarter,
making your workflow more efficient. And maybe cutting that Photoshop thumbnail stage out would work. Just because like you can do your thumbnails in Flash, and then you can work right on top of them, and maybe that'll be faster.
Well, what I find with that is that then I don't have to conceptualize as much, because there's been a few strips where I'm like, I need the freehand that comes with working in Photoshop or / Toon Boom, which you sort of can and can't get in Flash.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like when it comes to sketching, I mean, I guess it's been a while since I've done anything like drawn in Flash, but I don't know how actually limiting they are. Or I would think they were. I'm surprised that they're more limited than, Photoshop. If you're just like getting some basic lines down.
Well, it's like have you ever heard of a software called Lazy Nezumi?
No.
So Lazy Nezumi is basically a sort of correction software. Well, actually, then I guess my analogy kind of falls flat. Anyway, the point being that like I like Flash's correction for when I'm inking. But not when I'm drawing and just sketching. I need to like bang out ideas.
You can't just turn the smoothing off?
Then my lines get all like wibbly.
Yeah.
And I hate that, like more so than I hate like it's and the things that I'm stupidly particular about which one I'm using, which is why I haven't like updated the CC yet.
Yeah.
Even though I probably should. And actually, I do have the subscription for CC. I just don't like, or the subscription for Flash for Animate CC. I just do not like it in its current form because the brushes cheese me off.
Yeah.
Which I should.
Are you using the versions before they fixed that, or fixed? They came up with a way for you to like have zoom enable brushes where it's like. You can zoom in and keep your brush size.
Yeah, I'm using the versions before that because honestly, I actually like that. That it's like it stays it stays at whatever size that I'm currently on, because then it means that I don't know. I'm weird like that. It's just it doesn't phase me, and I like it.
Yeah, I feel like once it's one of those things where it's like it's objectively annoying, but if you've been working that way for a set number of years, you're so used to it that switching methods that now you have like specific techniques that actually work really well with it.
Yeah.
Whereas like, yeah, I totally get that.
So hold up a sec. Let me figure out what to, because for the scripting purposes, I forgot I remember what the visual through line is. I don't remember what the script was. And by script I mean like the actual like
check it on my
dialogue script, not like the actual like programming script.
Oh yeah.
Like that. All right, so actually I'm stopped. I made my move. I should use my hand. All right. All right, so.
So how's everybody been since the last time I either chatted or talked with you?
I don't remember what that was, so you're gonna have to refresh my memory. It's been a while.
That's good.
You've been good. See, that's a fine answer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of like traveling and just sort of hanging around, enjoying the summer while I work. Yeah, it's been good.
That's cool traveling.
Yeah, or I mean, not like a ton. I went to Charleston, South Carolina, with my girlfriend for a weekend, which was really nice. It's a pretty nice town.
Nice.
Surprisingly, and
Wait,
it smells like garbage, but like it looks really pretty, and it's like on the beach, which I had never really heard about it as like a destination to go visit, but like everyone who's been there is like, oh no, yeah, that's super nice. And apparently it's like a really popular like place to have a bachelor party, because we like passed 7 bachelor parties or bachelorette parties.
That's
like,
weird.
as we were wandering around this town. So yeah, it was super weird. But yeah, it's good.
Okay, I guess that's a very interesting fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact. Go to this place and you'll see a lot of bachelor parties.
Let me see.
Yeah.
What did happen since the last time we talked? So let me see. I went on break, and by went on break I mean like the school that I teach at went on break, because there's no break for the skipper, unfortunately. So that was fun. I did AwesomeCon. I tabled at AwesomeCon, and that was kind of nice. I made back my table, which was interesting. Or rather, I made back my half of the table. And I just, yeah, like 100, like almost $200. So that was great. Did not make back the cost of printing. Did not make back the electricity. And I learned that, when you're new to something, nobody wants to start on issue 5 at all.
Is that all you brought with you? Was like print copies of issue 5?
Well, I brought a few, I think 10 to 15 copies of issue 1. 10 thumb drives of the issue 1 app, and like 10 and then like the rest was like issue 5 and volume 1. And so like I sold out of issue 1, the strip, and I sold half of the issue 1 flash drives.
No, nice.
The volume 1 flash drives did not move at all. I think that's because of the price, and because also nobody cared about the extra stuff that was on board it. Because when they heard it, like, oh, it's the app, right? And I'm like, yeah, $45. And I'm like, what? Yeah, because it's got the app, and it's got the PDF, and it's got the video. And they're like, yeah, it's kind of expensive.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Because like,
that's
when,
like the collector's deluxe edition, I guess.
Well, it's like, when you think about it from my perspective, those were really hard to make, all of it. Yeah. But then when you think about it from their perspective, it's like, he's charging $45 for a thumb drive?
Right. Well, yeah.
So I'm gonna take the videos and the PDFs off, and I can bring the price down to $30. And then for the individual issue ones, I can bring the price down to $10 instead of selling them at $15.
Is there like a significant difference between what's on the thumb drive and what I can just find on your YouTube page?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, it's mostly about organization.
Gotcha.
And the other thing is that what I want to eventually do is, like, I think starting volume 3, I'm going to take down the older issues. So it's like you'll get to have like issues 1 and maybe 2 for free, and then you'll have like the current volume. So like you'll have volume 3 going forward. Like, so you have issues 1 and 2, and then volume 3 going forward, and so on and so forth. But if you want to catch up on volume 2, you'll have to buy it from me somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. Or like just keeping it behind like a paywall.
Yeah, because like that's always been the problem with webcomics, is this whole thing of, oh yeah, my comic is amazing. You should totally pay for it, even though I'm giving it away for free on my website.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's great, but other than being willing to support you, why would I ever pay for this?
Right.
You've given it for free, or given it away for free already.
Yeah.
So that's my goal, is to just like how, like, unless you're really, really dedicated to breaking my website, you can't really steal the Swift files.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want it to be such a thing where you, like, okay, well, now you have to pay money.
Yeah.
Because as much as because I mean, the thing is that as much as I want to be the best kind of like a distributor, like, in person, 1, I do need to eat, and 2, if my stuff isn't worth enough for you to pay for it,
right,
what is it really worth?
Yeah.
I mean, like, somebody would argue the semantics of you should be making art for art's sake, and it doesn't matter what other people want. And I'm like, you know what? I already have my validation. I already wrote a paper about this. The paper was accepted. It's sitting in a library, and they gave me another piece of paper saying that I am a master of my field because of this other paper. I don't need the validation anymore. I don't need the personal validation. I just need the societal validation of, okay, well, this is popular enough to make money.
Right.
So obviously I must know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And even fine artists, like, getting in a gallery is about selling paintings and making money, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Like, it's this sort of like this. I hate the starving artist mentality, and also the sort of, not so much Zen, but like, you know what I mean, like the sort of super hyper spiritual. It's not about the physical. It's like, well, no, to a certain extent, it is. It has to be.
Yeah.
And not just for the sake of like spiritual validation, but also because if you don't put a price tag on it, somebody else will, and that somebody else is gonna screw you real hard. Mm-hmm. So let's see, how much time is left on this? 15 minutes. I can't really stretch this out any longer. I'm gonna make this blue, and then I'm gonna take a 3-minute break, grab a Coke, and then I'm gonna work on my Patreon comic. That's what I'm gonna work on.
Nice.
Okay.
And by Patreon comic, I mean the promo for Patreon.
Yeah.
So,
have you started that officially yet?
I haven't made it, like, I haven't launched it, but I've made the page.
Gotcha.
Like, I think I've showed you guys the page. I'll put it in the chat in a hot minute.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
So I need to readjust. Like, apparently, like, you're not allowed to readjust the sizes of stuff on Patreon, which is really frustrating. Because it's just the weird thing of like it's like with most sites, it's like, okay, well, here you upload an image. Okay, well, now you can resize it to fit the browser thing. Patreon's like, nope, one size fits all, mother fudgers.
Yeah.
Which means that my comic style is a little too small.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So there'll be
Sorry.
Oh, go for it.
Oh no, I was gonna say I feel like I have a similar issue with Tumblr where when I export a GIF, it'll be like sized down, but then, or it has to be sized down to fit the 2 meg limit, but then they blow it up, so now it's just like super low res and shitty.
Well, how do you export it from?
I export it from Photoshop. Wait, what?
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say that's how I do it, but I don't usually have that kind of problem.
Oh, Well, it's just like when it's like viewed full screen, it's like scaled above the actual image size, which is like still, which would have been like, which was like designed to be like the right size. I don't know what's going on. I feel like it's the way I'm uploading it to Tumblr more than it is like a Photoshop thing.
Yeah, because what I usually do is I just like say, okay, the largest dimension is going to be 500 no matter what it is. It needs to be.
Oh, you can say that when you're posting?
Well, no, like when I'm exporting from Photoshop, it's like, okay, 500. That's going to be the max.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I like have them at, like, I'm very specific about like the size of it when I'm exporting it, but it's just, yeah, for some reason in the upload or like in the whatever the Tumblr version of a newsfeed is,
Yeah,
like, it's like bigger just to fit their formatting.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
It's either way.
Or,
It's
like,
all kinds of stupid.
Yeah, I don't have like the energy to really look into it.
Well, also the time too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's reset the clock. Let's put on the break timer. I'm gonna take a 3-minute break, and then I'm gonna start back on my Patreon comic. So I'll be right back, guys.
All right, man.
No problem.
All right. Yep.
You're still working on your You're still working on your dancing.
Still working on the dance. Yeah. It will be done. I've called it 1 month from now.
1 month from now.
This will be finished. Yeah, because I'm gonna start streaming every Monday from 7:30 to 9:30. So that's the only reason I haven't finished it is I like keep getting busy with other stuff. And like, you know, just not working on it because I don't have that much left to do on it. It's just like, you know, I'll give myself, you know, that's like 8 more hours of actual work on this, which I think is reasonable. You know. Yeah.
Oh my god, my butt.
But
Never say that again.
Oh my god, my butt. Why would you tempt me, man? Don't tempt fate.
yeah.
How's that fate?
Well, it's like, hey, don't say the thing, and then the person says the thing all over again. Well, no, it's like actually, I'm not gonna describe it because that's just gonna end like no, that's not something anybody wants described. I promise you that.
What, your butt?
Well, the circumstances of why I would complain about my butt.
Yeah.
It's like nothing I say can make that end very well at all.
Yeah. That's true.
Voltron's YouTuber 8 alternate universe. What? People are weird.
All right.
Man, I kind of wish I'd bought some cherries this afternoon, but whatever. I didn't. So I'm just gonna drink some more Coke and, you know, slowly keep poisoning myself.
Yeah, live and learn, you know. Wait, so if you had cherries, you wouldn't be drinking a Coke right now?
Yep.
You'd be like, I just need sugar.
Well, I just need something. I just need something to eat or drink. Because otherwise, I'm just talking for several hours straight, and that's not healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I actually did that for a podcast where we talked for 4 hours straight. Meanwhile, Don writes, "Yo, Skip, I am in the USA. Hey, welcome to the USA, dude. How are you doing tonight? Came in at just the right time. Plus, I didn't miss it by like 10 minutes. That's always my word whenever I'm talking on the chat where I'm like, snap! I wasn't paying attention and like they talked like 20 minutes ago. Fudge."
Yeah. I feel like I've been doing that. That's like half of my chats are just like responded.
Like 3 hours later.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you get better at it as you go.
Yeah.
Concept, skip promo, Patreon, production, static comic work files. There we go. And now back to the thing that took forever the last time I worked on it. So I'm listening to the battle theme from Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga called "Come On."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like I don't know. I really like Mario and Luigi is probably the one of the few RPGs I can still play. And I say I can still play as if I'm physically disabled from playing them. It's more on the lines of like they bore the crap out of me because like it's this. They're like what I like to call breakfast RPGs.
What do you mean?
Wherein like you put in a move, you pick up your spoon, you eat your breakfast while the cinematic plays, and then you pick another move, watch cinematic plays, eat your breakfast, and so on and so forth. Like I used to do that with Golden Sun, where I would just like be eating Golden Sun and Pokemon, where I'd be eating lunch while the cinematic played out, and I'm like, I'm not playing the game.
Yeah.
And I get that some people like that. It's a strategy thing. It's like a card game, but like in a video game.
Yeah, yeah. The slow pace of it.
Not my thing.
Yeah.
Whereas with Mario and Luigi, not only can you essentially be able to avoid all damage if you're playing the rhythms right. Even messing up is hilarious. Does damage, just not as much damage as doing well does, and also half the fun is watching the brothers beat the tar out of each other just to get their attacks off.
Gotcha. Oh, wait, whoops. That's the wrong tool.
Oof. Meanwhile, somebody on my Facebook feed wants to be my friend. They have 38 mutual friends. And I'm like, but I don't know you at all.
I mean, that's a lot of mutual friends, though.
Yeah. I think also part of it is that the art's freaking... Well, it depends on the person. Because sometimes it's like, this is very obviously a spam account. Or you have no intention of actually being friends with me. You just like see that that I have a lot of mutual friends and I can probably boost your stuff. So what usually ends up happening is I'll either check for how much work you have, how much good work you have, and whether I want to follow you for that, versus how much commentary do you post on other people's stuff? Do we share similar ideas, etc., etc. Meanwhile, Don writes, "Hey, I'm in Washington and they're really friendly here. 2 random people are quite friendly, so I already like it, but of course I'm tired. Now it's just 8 hours here." Well, yeah, because jet lag, buddy. It happens. Yeah. I didn't set the timer, so that's dumb. So of course it's never gonna go off. So let's get the thing starting back up. And let's set that for 25 minutes and start. It's because like I like these like 30-minute mixes. For my music, but I don't know if anybody's getting bored with them. I mean, nobody in the Discord can actually hear them, so there is that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with. I mean, I'm not listening to anything, so you know, whatever. It's
Which is weird because like that's probably the one piece of advice from the Animator Survival Kit that I just absolutely cannot follow.
Oh yeah, I just don't listen to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like parts of the process where I can and can't listen to stuff. Like right now, I'm pretty mindlessly in betweening this hair, so it's like I can do that while talking to people or while listening to music or paying attention to a podcast. But back when I was like thumbnailing and like roughing it out and really figuring out the mechanics of this, like it was just a lot of dead air and silence as I, thought.
Yeah, I feel that. Like I'm in a similar boat where it's like, if I don't have to think too much about whatever it is I'm doing, and that's not to say that it's like my brain is completely dead, but it's like the thumbnails is already been done, and like most of the hard work is kind of already done. Then I don't have to think quite as hard. Yeah. And even then, like in streaming, you can sort of tell where I'm like my brain is half in dialogue mode and half in like work mode, where it's like, oh. Why are you having so much trouble with words, Skip? And it's like, because I'm drawing at the same time, you boobs.
Yeah.
It's like you try hopping on one foot and trying to hold a conversation at the same time.
Right. Right.
Which is not to say it can't be done, it's just, it's hard.
Yeah.
So wait, so Slater, what are you up to aside from eating dinner? Because I feel like you got dropped off.
Actually, I stopped eating dinner, and I'm actually animating right now.
Cool.
For a little bit.
Are you on Picardo?
No, I'm not streaming. I'm just actually animating without streaming.
Whoa.
You're blowing my mind, man.
Yeah, what are you
doing? Oh my
doing?
god, that actually happens.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I was about to go on the other side of that and be like, you know you can do both, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just pushing a
but-
button. Sometimes I think about
True.
not streaming, and then I'm like, all I have to do is push this button.
But I'm not gonna be on for that long. Probably
Yeah,
like
that's
for
true.
another 9 minutes.
Right.
So,
Dude,
Yeah.
it's
You
Picardo. Nobody notices. And like nobody notices if you're either not Picardo hard house style, or you don't already have a base. Nobody notices.
Oh, Colin.
I am so salty about Picardo.
Yeah.
There are so many things I'm salty about. What am I not salty about?
I don't know, man.
I just realized I botched Righteous Greek's name. I said Righteous Geek. It's Righteous Greek. I am dumb.
Dang.
One letter.
Insulting. Yeah.
But yeah, look, I don't know. I think it's one of those sort of weird things where like, as a artist and also as a person, I'm getting this habit where like everything is fits some sort of ulterior agenda. To a point where it's like, okay, well, how many birds can I kill with this one stone? It's like, how about you kill a bird? But I can kill 3 of them at the same time.
I mean, just stop killing birds, man.
It's in the name.
You don't have to kill birds.
What if they're all angry and shit?
Then let them be.
No, their presence offends me. Only,
Oh, man.
only one bird allowed.
I did it, Colin.
You finished the hair?
I finished the hair.
Yes.
think it's
Oh my
fine.
god, that is
I didn't
that
have
is
to
sexy,
redo that.
dude. That is
Yeah.
sexy.
Oh, man. And I've got, like, 35 minutes left on the stream. I'm gonna take a break.
You should do that.
Alright. Alright, I'm gonna take a 35-minute break.
Don't do that.
Okay. Alright, I've got my be right back thing up. Alright, I'll be back.
Yeah, you need an image for that.
I do, see? What's up? Alright.
All right, see you in a hot minute. And apparently it's about to rain where I am. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's both not healthy and it's also kind of cool. Cause like I'm laying down like plans for things that I don't have to worry about later. But on the flip side, it's like how much of life am I missing out on because like everything is or like how much enjoyment of what I'm doing am I missing out on because there's always some sort of ulterior motive to it. Like even when it's relaxation for relaxation purposes. Cause like.
Well, no, I was about to say I'm going to be streaming this Friday, so.
Well, you
But
don't
it's
have to
gonna
stream
be-
because I'm making you do it.
No. I'm streaming this Friday because I'm not working, and the night before, hopefully it turns out because one of my friends in my Jedi combat group
Uh-huh.
taking me out to go karaoke for my birthday.
Oh.
So,
Do Weird Al. Nobody will ever laugh at you for Weird Al.
I sing Under the Sea. I sing Disturbed. I sing Weird Al. I sing Frank Sinatra. I sing. Forget who else I sing a lot of songs, different songs.
Okay, Taylor, we believe you.
Taylor, what?
Taylor Swift. She's a singer. She's a famous person. You're not that old, Slater. Although it is weird for us to be like entering our 30s and stuff. Oh wait, you're already in your 30s, aren't you?
I'm turning 31 this week.
Same thing. Point still stands.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird to enter that age where I'm like, this isn't for me, and that's okay, I guess.
Yeah, it's.
Well, look, because I remember I got into it with somebody about Kill la Kill, where he's like, it's parody, and I'm like, no, it's not. Like he's like, it's deep, man. They're making critique, and I'm like, no, they're not. They're just saying, look, we're aware of how silly this is, but they're still doing it with gusto.
Right.
Like that doesn't make it parody. Like if there was like some sort of greater thing where it's like, oh man, look how sexy it is when Mako's dad has a Goku uniform. And it's like, Yeah, not so funny when we do it to old men, is it? It's like, oh. As opposed to, well, they're skimpy because there's a plot reason within the story. I'm like, yeah, but that plot reason isn't applicable to real life. I'm not in any danger, any way, shape, or form in danger of being eaten by my clothing. That's not how that works. Well, it's like it's a parody on the magical girl genre. Well, I'm like, yeah, but Sailor Moon isn't in any danger of being eaten by her clothes either. And it's like, it's for 13 to 15-year-old men to sort of like get their jollies while thinking that, you know, look, it's smart because we made commentary. It's like, that's not how that works. It's not for you, and that's okay. Or like the Transformers movies, where I'm like, they're not good. I don't think they're good, but they're also not for me, and they're gonna get your money anyway.
Like, what is it? I went to VidCon,
Ooh.
and there's this one gentleman that was on the creators floor, and he came up and started talking to me. He started talking about all these the Transformer movies and oh god, the Fast and Furious movies. And it's like I stopped after like the first one, out of like, and he's like, "Oh no, you gotta watch it." It's like, not for me.
Yeah, and that's okay. Art of Steven, I think, writes, what a fun little character. Oh, well, thanks, Art. Or rather, thanks, Steven. I think it's Steven. If you could, like, drop in the chat how exactly I'm supposed to pronounce that, that would be great. Because that way I can stop butchering it. But yeah, like, I got into an argument with somebody on Bleeding Cool, where I'm like, so nothing in Spider-Man, like, the last, like, 7 years mattered. Like, Doc Ock possessing him didn't matter because he got his body back. Steven with a F. Feven? I'm PH. I'm sorry, I'm just, like, not... I'm butchering this horribly.
Stefan.
Oh, oh, I guess, I think.
Or Stefan.
I'm hoping that that's right. So we're gonna go with Stefan. Art of Stefan. I guess that's what we'll go with. But it's like all of the changes.
Steven.
Oh, so it's pronounced Steven. Okay, so it's not Stefan.
Just like Windsor, just Steven. You know, it's spelled like Stefan.
Well, no, but it's the thing. It's not spelled like Stefan. Like like in the chat it says Art of Phteven. That's where the confusion's coming from. I'm guessing it's just Steven. We're just gonna say Art of Steven.
Yep. Let's go with that.
But it's like, Spider-Man got his brain hijacked by Dr. Octopus, but it got reset. Spider-Man left his job at the Daily Bugle, and then he left that job to become a scientist, and then he left that job to become Tony Stark, and now that's all being reset, and I'm like, I'm done with that. I have to be, for my own sanity, because for me, like, I just find stories as change, and if the character sort of resets back where they were with no sign of growth, then that's not a fun story for me. And I'm like, and I realize that that's because the meta reason is I'm not the target audience anymore. It has to reset for the next batch of 13 to 17-year-olds.
Right.
Like, and that's just not for me anymore. I'll go find my stories elsewhere. And somebody's like, well, you're being... It's like, don't be dishonest about the reasons why you don't like it. I'm like, I'm being perfectly honest. Like, that's
back.
It's Chips. How you doing?
Pretty good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
Announcing myself.
It's all good. But it's sort of weird to be, like, we're talking about getting older and being in / reaching our 30s and, like, things not being made for us anymore. Which is funny because, like, if any ladies in the chat would be like, tell me more about stuff not being made for you.
Oh, yeah.
And Steven writes, I haven't been the target audience for 30 years. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, then again, I don't know. Maybe that's your thing. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing that you like. I don't know. It got quiet.
Yeah.
That was depressing.
Sorry, I really killed the conversation by
You did.
coming back.
You did. You should have never come back, Chips. Even though, you know, I arranged this meeting in the first place.
Alright, I think I can get this head done tonight, too.
One can only
we
hope.
Shortened it to 3 weeks, Colin.
Oh!
I know.
So, for those who don't know, Chips and Solstice is a not a YouTube animator. You don't animate on YouTube. Is a professional animator, as if there's, you know, some sort of mutual exclusivity between YouTube and professional animators. And so they've been working on an intro for their podcast for like the last 2 months. It hasn't been as long as I wanted to say it is.
I mean, it's been a while.
But it's been 3 months.
Yeah.
Since I've been somewhere Nickelback. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like been like 3 months, 4 months. It hasn't been like a half a year because it hasn't been that long.
I mean, we started working on the podcast last May. So.
Well, yeah, but like the
intro, yeah, I don't know, probably since like March or whatever. Yeah.
And so we were talking about it at the beginning of the stream about how long it would take to finish it, and Chips was kind of estimating it that it would take a month, or I'm sorry, 4 weeks.
4 weeks, not a month, Colin. Goddamn disrespectful.
I know, I am.
Yeah, only because not a month of full-time work, just a month of streaming for 2 hours a week, working on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I estimated 8 hours, but I think it's down to 6 hours of work.
Which is great, because now we've like, because now it's like, oh hey, now it's gonna take 3 weeks, so not a month. It's gonna be awesome. And actually, if you guys haven't checked him out, I think he's like, it's playing right now. So if you go to Caster, Chips, and Solstice, you can check it out.
All right.
I mean, granted, if you're watching this on YouTube, then you won't be able to check it out. I'm sorry.
Oh, are you streaming on YouTube?
Well, no, but this will go on YouTube after the fact. You can actually
yeah.
Update your you can send your streams to YouTube afterwards.
What?
So you can send your streams to YouTube after they're done.
Oh yeah, like with like it automatically does it or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not automatic. You have to sort of set it to do that.
Ugh.
But
once you set it, it's automatic.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. Great.
So.
That's what I'm looking for, man. Looking for no work involved in this.
Yeah. Plus, apparently, that is something that people do actually check out. So.
Oh, have you been getting more views on the YouTube version?
Not really, but people are actually looking.
Oh, nice.
That's sort of what I mean when I say like this whole like I'm not sure what's not working or not working. Because I'll get enough views to justify doing the thing.
Yeah.
But never enough to be like, okay, well, this is working, this is not working, etc., etc.
Yeah. I think it's about editing down the concept to like what exactly you're trying to accomplish with it. You know, like are you uploading it to YouTube afterwards just for the views, or are you doing it because you believe that that's like the format that it belongs in?
For the views.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. So it's like,
well, because technically,
I do believe, YouTube is like a good platform to put it on, but I don't know, it's more complicated than that, I guess.
Well, not only that, but also like when the edited version, the pared down version, they get anyway on Wednesday and Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not like it's like, oh no, well, this guy doesn't know how to edit videos. It's like, well, no, you're just getting more of it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, with the stream, it's like whatever, no harm, no foul, because it takes you like no extra work to do it, to like throw it on YouTube. But with like the multiple versions of the
video and the comic, yeah,
of the comic.
Like I don't know if I told you, like I was telling Chips this earlier, but like I'm trying to do a new version of the videos for the comic, wherein I am wherein I like the comic plays out for as long as it's supposed to, and then it rewinds all the way back to a week before when I started animating it, or right when I started working on the animation and the illustration, and then it just plays through the speed paint in 5 minutes, and then at the end of the video, there's a comic again, so now you have context as to what I was doing. And so I wanted to do a rewind effect in After Effects, but like it was not working for whatever reason. I think it's partly because my computer's just not powerful enough to.
Yeah. So
I spent all day trying to figure out how that was working and why it wouldn't work, and trying out different alternatives. And eventually, the solution I came to was simply just to render out the text. Oh shoot! Like it was just to render out the effect as a JPEG sequence and then re-import it back into After Effects, which is a little bit messier than I would like it to be, but hey, it worked.
Yeah, that's definitely just like a computer power issue, or like a...
But it also threw, like, trying to figure that out also threw off my schedule, like, super hardcore, because it became this thing of, well, crap, I didn't do my promos when I was supposed to, etc., etc. In fact, at my next break, I'm going to have to take a little bit more extended break so I can do my Tumblr promos. But, like, we were talking about this earlier at the beginning of the stream, where my particular work schedule doesn't really allow for a lot of downtime or experimentation time or what have you. So it becomes this thing of, oh, well, like a friend of mine, she wanted to do this thing, Gish Wishes. It's a sort of like weird scavenger hunt thing.
Okay.
And I was thinking about it, I'm like, I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just, she suggested, like, well, it's this thing that you do on the side. All there is a $21 cost. And I'm like, what's going to happen is I'm going to throw down the money, and then I'm going to ignore this for the duration of the time that I'm supposed to be helping out with this.
Right, exactly.
And not because I want to, but because I just do not have the time.
Yeah.
In fact, I've actually done that to my sister and my niece a few times, which they're as understanding as they can be about that, but they're also not as happy as they would like to be about that.
Right, exactly. Because it's not like, you don't want to, like, be flaking out on...
Well, my niece will be like, it's like, hey, can I do this thing with you? And I'm like, I'm busy. It's like, no, but I really want to do this thing with you. Like, I want to play a game with you or what have you. And I'm like, I'm busy. And it comes across as, well, you don't want to do the thing with me. I'm just like, I do. I just don't have the time right now. Yeah. Like, she'll say, hey, can we play Mario Kart? I'm like, oh my god, if I was, like, several years younger, that would be, like my, I'd be like, yes, I will drop everything to play Mario Kart with you. Now I'm 28, and, man, I don't turn 30 for another year. Wow. I swear I'm, like, the youngest old man I know. Seriously, that's, like, how I'm described by my colleagues.
Well, I'm heading off.
Alright, man.
I need to get some sleep so I can clean more carpets tomorrow.
Whatever, old man!
Hey, I don't think you've actually... Have you seen the pictures of me in my...
Old man costume? Yes.
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 Well, for the Jedi stuff that I do?
No. I saw it for that one time at Halloween during in college.
1 second. Before I go, let me go to your Discord then. Or, wait.
What's the cool thing about not being popular? Artists. That's the cool thing about not being popular is that you can put it in the chat and nobody will ever see this. So artist Steven writes, "Whoa, you have a ton of YouTube videos up." Yeah. That's because everything I do is almost always recorded and it becomes part of my YouTube speed paint series. Because the initial idea for the Crimson Fly was that it would be this sort of it would be this webcomic that would be animated. But then I learned that, Steve Jobs hates Adobe. And so, you can't post, post Flash on the phone. So to get around that, I made my, Busy.
I just want your cat for a bar. I didn't borrow him today for any time.
Okay, you can come in and borrow him.
I know, can you?
I can't pick him up for you.
Got it.
There you go. Good job. Now be careful. Don't hit him on anything. Don't drop him.
Not dropping him.
Oh, here, let me get the door.
Okay.
Hurry up. You're gonna...
That poor cat.
that should not be as funny as it is. No, because the cat's just like, because she's fumbling with him in her hands, and she's like, oh, don't drop me. Why? And
what is happening?
Yeah. It's just funny. Because she just plops him on the couch accidentally, but she doesn't let him go. So he doesn't get the cue that he can go. So it's funny because it's this weird sort of adorable tug of war. Yeah. So anyway, I forgot to answer you see Victory in the Dream World. That's a good one.
There, I posted. I just posted into your Twitch chat.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, I remember this. I'm glad you didn't shave your head, half your head this time, because that was weird. But that looks pretty cool, Slater.
Yeah, no, we performed this past weekend at Aberdeen, the Aberdeen Ironbirds baseball, and then we're performing this weekend at the Blue Crabs down in Southern Maryland.
Cool.
For their Star Wars night.
Yeah, nice.
So, yay! And
No, that's cool.
After that, I might shave my head
again. So yeah. Well, thank you for popping by, Slade. I'm gonna kick you off before I actually end up sucking your attention back for another hour. So thank you for popping by, and feel free to drop in on the Skip stream some other time.
Yep.
No problem. As long as I'm not too busy or too old.
Whatever, old man. All right. Have a good evening, dude.
Yeah.
So Steven writes, "Whoa, you have a ton of YouTube videos." I do, because the initial idea for the Crimson Fly, if you haven't checked it out, check out this link. It only works if you're on a desktop though. I do an anime comic book called The Crimson Fly, which are the adventures of my character, the Crimson Fly, the character that you're seeing me work on right now. And so initially it's an interactive comic, which means it's a Flash application. And so initially I was like, okay, well, this is going to be awesome. The problem is that like Flash doesn't work on cell phones. So because Steve Jobs decided that he didn't like Adobe and he didn't like that they're monopoly on like interactivity. Now granted, eventually Steve Jobs was proven right because Flash has a ton of security vulnerabilities and all that jazz. But he didn't know that at the time. It was kind of Steven writes, the missus already went and learned way too much about you. I don't know whether to be scared or excited. So it was supposed to be so I put it on YouTube. And so what I've been doing so far is I've been putting all these comics on YouTube as they are. Now granted, what I've learned really quickly early on was that YouTube doesn't like videos that are less than 2 minutes short. And so the average Crimson Flash, unfortunately, is about 15 minutes. It's about 15 seconds long, even accounting for reading. So what I started doing is Steven writes, I would be afraid. Oh boy. Now I'm kind of worried.
Okay.
YouTube doesn't like when the video is less than 2 minutes long. So what I started doing is I started streaming. And what I learned is that the program that I was using for streaming, OBS, was also recording at the same time. And I was like, well, okay, well if I can't stream and be successful on Picardo, then I might as well take these videos, condense them down into a speed paint, and wah! Something happened. Artist Steven is now falling. Woo! Yeah!
Oh, nice.
Thank you. Much appreciated. So I might as well condense them into, you're too far east and I won't give her the gas money. No worries. Good to know. Now I know I'm not going to be CTN. But, so I decided that I was going to turn these videos into speed paint videos, and that would fulfill the requirement for YouTube, while at the same time giving the comic more texture, and also putting the comic someplace where people who couldn't read it on a computer could check it out. And that's sort of what me and Chips and Solstice have been talking about, is that sort of burning the candle at both ends by trying to kill multiple birds with one stone. Because, like, I have to make the comic on a tablet anyway. That's like kind of non-negotiable. If I have to make it on a tablet, why not stream it? If I'm streaming it and the software can also record the video, why not record it? So there's like 3 birds with one stone, and I haven't even gotten to putting it onto YouTube yet. The problem is that, like, the more that I sort of expand, the harder it becomes to sort of manage everything. For example, you'll notice that, like, okay, cool, it did update. I don't have any sort of like scrolling banners or donations or things like that, like, listed on my thing, because I don't have the time.
Yeah.
So, instead of, like, being yeah, right, it has to take up a ton of storage. Oh, yeah. That's what external hard drives are for. And also, like, I don't have them all exported yet. I think each volume is going to have its own portable, hard drive. Oh, well, time for the break to be over. And, I think this is going to be our last one before the end of the stream. Mostly because by this should put us back at 9:47, or at least that's where I am now. And that'll be
for, like, when your stream is supposed to end.
Yeah, like, it shouldn't, like, I say 7 to whenever, but that's a little bit of a misnomer. I do have to get some stuff ready for tomorrow. And I also have to export this. Like, export this stream to YouTube. So, odds all in all, even though the stream ends at 10, I'm not going to be done until, like, midnight.
Dang, that sucks.
The independent grind.
Right, yeah, that's true.
Because, normally it's just...
No, sorry, that just reminded me. I was listening to this podcast with an interview with Patrick Smith. Who's, like, an independent animator in New York. He does Blank on Blank, and he did, like, a bunch of short films that are, like, really amazing. And what he does is he works from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day, and then just enjoys the rest of his day.
That's pretty cool.
Like, yeah, that's, like, his independent grind, where it's like he works an 8-hour day. It's just, like, super early in the morning so that he can, like, still spend time with his family and have, like, a full life. But yeah.
And I think, well, right now my
where it's like you're working like 7 p.m. till midnight, you know.
Well, that's also because, well, it's not so much that as it's like that's when my stream, the majority of my stream audience is available to actually watch stuff.
That's true. Yeah. You can't stream at 5 a.m. You know.
Or even like 10 in the morning. Like, yeah, 10 in the morning is somebody's 3 in the afternoon. But generally speaking, with social media, you don't want to plan for everybody else. You want to plan for where you live.
Right.
And so that's sort of the hard part is okay, well, when do most people watch streams where I live? Well, between the hours of 3 and midnight.
Right.
So it's just easier just to do it then.
Yeah. That's true.
Which both it's awesome and kind of sucks. But I think also the other issue for me is just that, like, independent work is not my full-time job yet. Like, I'm hoping that this isn't a pipe dream, but like, I'm hoping to be fully independent by 2020 in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, it makes sense, but it's also
right.
Not, like, it's, as far as I know, it's not crazy viable yet.
Yeah.
Because, like, the comic doesn't pay for itself. I don't have a Patreon yet. And I still need the daytime job.
Right, yeah.
So,
but if you can get the Patreon working and, like, yeah. Start building everything from there, then I think that's a good goal. Like, that's, what, 5 years? 3 years?
That's 3 years. Because I want to reset the 5-year plan at 2020 rather than like, oh yeah, in 2022, that's when I'll reset my 5-year goal, which actually wouldn't be cool, which actually wouldn't be too bad because the alliteration is there. It's like, oh, we're like 200 years away from 2222. I mean, granted, I won't live to see that. At least I won't physically live to see that. I don't think.
Wait, see what? What are you talking about?
The year 2222.
Oh, just it being 2222.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, I guess. I thought it was like a reference to a movie I hadn't seen or something.
Nope.
I wasn't sure. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Steven writes, daytime job. Nah, it's easy. Just tell the bill collectors you're going to be good by 2022.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
So yeah, but that's the goal. I think it's doable, and I think if I keep saying it, it'll eventually become like fully realizable.
Yeah.
But for the time being, it is the grind is what it is.
Right.
And
yeah.
I honestly don't want to quit my day job, at least not in its entirety just yet. But I'd rather have it be a like I can reduce my hours. Where I'm like, okay, I'm only teaching one class as opposed to having to teach two to three more classes.
Right.
Because like I don't like this because of the nature of the school where I work is, I don't want to teach full time.
Yeah.
Like maybe if I was teaching at SCAD, I might like it more, or maybe if I was teaching, or I don't know, maybe if the system wasn't the way it is. But personally speaking, I don't want to teach. I don't want to teach full time.
Yeah.
It's just like yesterday, and I think part of that was just the commute was just a nightmare because I didn't do it right. And okay, cool. Those are all good. All right. Well, we can start the next one. Do I want to start the next one? I don't really want to call it a night here.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me put this on. Let me hit stop recording, because, whatever that is, that's already done. So let me open the next one. Open, Patreon. Because I have 3 of these strips. Let me actually link you guys to my Patreon so you can see what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing is that with these, they'll also be animated for the video. So even if like the text isn't too clear, you'll still have the video. So let me see. Finish page. Even though I'm not gonna finish the page tonight, I swear Patreon's like sitting looking at this and thinking, when is he gonna finish the goddamn page? Copy link. So yeah, so I put the link to the promo preview to my Patreon in the chat. And while it's a little bit cropped, it makes it's still readable because rather, let me see. Yeah, it's still readable because I blew up the text in the version that you're looking at on the stream. Yeah. Basically it's not as crunched as it looks. It's a little bit more legible. So,
Nice.
static, production, pre-production, sketch, work files. So, sketch number, 2. Cool. Why did I'm stupid. I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the second comic, I'm like, there's not much to ink on this one. It's kind of done. It might need some tweaking, but I don't need to ink it. Well, we're going to work on that anyway, so let's hit record. So I think what I'm going to do as a lead up to my Patreon is I'm going to have it, like a series of SkipperWing Draws a Thing videos where you can see the various strips and their animation. And then that'll lead up to the launch of my Patreon.
Nice.
In theory. You know me and my plans.
Right. Yeah.
Especially my plans that rely on other people.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, this comic is awesome! You should totally check out my comic! And I'll be like, yeah, they'll totally check out my comic on the strength of my webcomic alone. And then nobody shows up and I'm like, why isn't anybody here? Because you didn't tell anybody about it, you butthole. Alright, so let's see. Cool. Alright, so the first strip is basically who am I and what do I do? So my name is Colin SkipperWing Bird, and I do an animated webcomic called The Crimson Fly about a superhero who fights crime named The Crimson Fly, and it updates on Mondays. So that's the first strip. And the second one is like, okay, so what do you get out of my Patreon? Because I don't know, I've sort of leaned towards the pragmatic side of that argument, because there'll always be people who will say, well, my winning personality, it's been an artistic journey, I want to get better, this helps pay the bills, what have you. Basically, this is what you can do for me. Mm-hmm. And I find that the easiest way to convince people is, well, not so much this is what you can do for me, but this is what I can do for you. Mm-hmm. So basically what I want to offer up is, one, you get, like, my comics, for relatively free.
Oh, hey, wait, sorry. Looks as Steve just popped in on my stream. Yeah, I've been working on this, dance animation for a while. I finished up, there's basically, like, 2 little dances, and then a transition between the 2, and this is that first one, where he's just dancing.
Doing a jig.
Or actually, I can just play the whole thing.
Hey, now.
Yeah, that's true. Start. Stop. Just dance. Yeah.
So what I plan to offer...
That's what I got.
Oh, yeah. So artist Steven writes, so what can you do for me? Do tell. So for one thing, I want to give up my animation files, like, for quote-unquote relatively free. And I say quote-unquote because you'll be paying for it via Patreon, so it's not really free. And you'll also get not just, like, the comics, but you'll also get the Flash file and the Photoshop files. And basically, if you're a budding animator, illustrator, what have you, and you want to know how I do what I do, then you'll get those files. Also, for my Friday videos, you'll get a say in what I make for those. So on Fridays, I normally do this thing called SkipperWing Draws a Thing. And so, yeah?
So I'm back.
Hey, welcome back, Drastic. How you doing?
Chilling.
Like a villain?
With some ice cream and brownies.
Mmm. So, like, you also get a say in my SkipperWing Draws a Thing videos, and I think what I might do is I might change one of the tier lists to, instead of being just like fill out the poll, like, you'll get to actually commission me on a regular basis. So that's what I want to offer. And then at a later date, and that's in strip number 3, will actually be about will also be about the future of the Patreon, if I can, get enough subscribers and all that jazz. So yeah, so that's what I want to do for my Patreon, because honestly, if I say, well, this is what I can get with the Patreon, it's like, if I just save up enough for my day job, like, I live a nice enough life wherein, for my day job, like, if I just save up enough money, I can kind of purchase anything I want. But I'd like to get off of working off of my day job, and just working purely on my art.
Yeah. Alright,
So you're done for the night, Chips?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be done for the night. I've got 3 more drawings left on the head for this dance.
Woo!
And after that, yeah, I'll probably finish the actual animation part next week.
What?
And then, yeah, I'm gonna say 2 weeks.
Don't
2
jinx
weeks
it.
until this is done.
Don't jinx it, man.
Yeah.
Well, good luck
No,
with that.
I'm not jinxing it. I'm being practical. Anyway.
Cha.
Anyone, it looks like I gained a couple followers, so that's awesome. Sorry
Nice.
if you guys chatted and I didn't see it for a while. I'll get better at that. I will be streaming next Monday, 7:30, 9:30.
Nice.
Also check out SkipperWing, who I've been co-streaming with. Anyone who isn't, I imagine most of you are also watching him. Anyway.
Well, you can check the viewer list and see if that's how that works.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he just dropped his channel in there. Anyway, I'll see you later. It's good hanging out, Colin.
Alright, catch you later, Chips.
Bye.
Night. So you're just hanging out, Drastic?
Just smashing this ice cream and brownie real quick.
Ah.
We're working on stuff all night.
Nice. Oh yeah, because you're doing that Lego stuff, right?
That was way earlier.
Ah.
Just illustrating for a hot minute.
That's not how you spell mask.
Working through a ass load of commissions.
You make that sound like a bad thing.
It's not. It's a difficult thing. It's not a bad thing.
Oh, so is this off of a BlurredCon or just in general? Like you just like picked up a ton of commissions. And actually, how do you advertise that at conventions? I feel like that's the main way that you get your business.
We just have a little sign that says custom commissions start at $10.
Oh, nice.
Like sketches on a 6x8 card.
And people don't just want this immediately after the con's over, or like while the con's going.
A lot of people do. It's kind of hard for me to like mail out commissions, but I do that if that's what they need. Usually someone will come to me like, I'm thinking about something, but I don't know. I'm like, okay, cool, let me know. And then like on the last day of the convention, like, okay, I want A, B, and C, but I want you to do it like one of my prints. I want you to do it digitally. Like, okay, that's cool. Easier to email somebody a high-res file than like physically mail them out to print.
That makes sense though, because that's one of the things I want to save up for, like when I get my bonus, which reminds me I need to write that up. Pay adjustment form for last week. Is I want to buy that a portable printer to take with me at conventions. So that way that can be a thing that if people want me to do stuff for them, then I can do that.
The type of community that typically attend comic book conventions and anime conventions and such, you get a really major uptick in business when they can see you working on stuff. Like for a lot before I got like all of my Prismacolor markers, I started doing marker commissions. I did okay. I think 12 is the most I ever made. That was at a Katsucon. Once I started doing like what was visibly working at my table, people would come up and like just watch me for a while. Like, okay, how much would this be? How much would that be? And I'm not even that, honestly, not that great with markers, but
one thing is that's something.
People like it, and I've been moving a lot of marker commissions, so it's been a good investment.
Well, and like to pivot to me, like you've seen my setup where like I have a TV that's hooked up to a computer. So if I wanted to, I could just spend the entire convention working. And see if like.
I'd like to see that analog type of working.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
That's the one criticism I ever got, was that my stuff looks like, it doesn't look like painted and hand made like my prints. Like very clean, animated look to it. And that was actually a criticism I got. Like it's like, it looks too clean. Like, what do you mean it looks too clean?
Were they able to articulate that? Because that doesn't sound like a very valid criticism.
Well,
that just sounds like personal. Huh?
It doesn't make sense at all, but like, nevertheless, it was something that happened like twice. Like the nature of what I do didn't look natural enough to them for whatever reason.
That's weird and really weird.
Strange.
I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like,
What?
So it's one of those things where it's like I kind of want. I was like, my knee-jerk reaction is that that's stupid. My like sort of critical analysis is I think they're not able to articulate what they mean, and that's why it comes out the way it is that they say it is.
My initial reaction was, what? Huh? I don't get it. I was just like, thanks for the input.
Cause like I can see if somebody says it looks too mechanical or it doesn't feel like you said, it doesn't feel organic or what have you, or it feels stiff, I'm like, okay, well, I can work with that. But it looks too clean. Last I checked, we want clean.
That's kind of what I go for. It's kind of why Ink and Illustrate. It's super clean.
It's like, congratulations. The work looks professional. It looks too professional. What? So, but I mean, like,
how like terribly professional I consider my work, but it struck me as weird because it was one of those things where someone's like, "This is the key thing that I find irksome about what you do." Like, that's the key thing that people that like my art like about it.
It's like, congratulations, you have a preference, and my stuff isn't it.
It's like somebody coming up to you like, "Your stuff looks too animated." Like, what? Okay, that was a good one. That was weird.
So yeah, well, I mean, I was talking about it with a friend earlier today. Like, fans know when they're happy, but they don't really know what makes them happy. Like, I mean, barring the people who, like, you know, go to school for it, or either that or have some sort of intuition or aptitude for critical analysis.
Everybody thinks they have that. Everybody thinks they have the aptitude for critical analysis.
Yeah.
Well, people I know constantly pat themselves on the back for their aptitude for critical analysis.
Or if you disagree with them, well, you just didn't get it, because if you did get it, then you'd agree with me. I'm like, no, I know where you're coming from. I don't agree, and give me 5 minutes, I can prove you're wrong. But, but that doesn't mean that I don't get it.
And that's how things work. So, yeah, like, no, you don't get to just throw an opinion at me like it's gospel.
Yeah, that's always fun.
People do it so damn often.
Steven writes, fans don't know what they want, they just want it. Yep. And that's not to say that, like, people who have the aptitude for critical analysis can't be wrong either, too.
True.
I will defend Sonic the Hedgehog. No, actually, I won't. Well, yes, I will defend certain aspects of Sonic the Hedgehog, but that doesn't mean that certain aspects of them are not good. Like, I'll defend, like, City Escape as yay, sometimes I need a song that is blatantly obvious about what it wants to communicate. That doesn't inherently make it good music. Which I'm kind of on the fence about that. And so on and so forth. And even then with that one, I'm like, So, yeah. But it's like, yeah, don't confuse your opinion for critical thought. You can like something, and so on and so forth. But I forget, because I feel like we got off track on that one. But yeah, with people and your style, it's like, okay, you don't like my style. That's okay. You're not going to die. Let's put a background on that.
There's my sketchbook. I have too many sketchbooks. I don't know which one I need houses what I need.
Well, that's why mine's a tablet.
I've got a tablet.
Well, that's why mine's a tablet computer. Sorry, I misspoke.
Actually, sketch something digitally on my last stream. I did another super fight piece.
Nice. The super art fight thing?
No, just super fight. It's this card game. I just drew like 3 random cards and like, okay, I'll draw that.
Well, no, I think like there's a lot of aspects where I'm like this sort of weird outlier of don't do the thing that I do because that's not really right. Like I will like life draw on my tablet and I'm like, and it's like, don't do that. You should be life drawing in a sketchbook. I'm like, I don't have time. And it's my stuff and like my life drawing still improves as I'm drawing on my tablet computer. So yeah. But at the same time, it's like when I tell my students, yeah, you need to get good at traditional before you can try and do digital. I'm like, and then they're like, but you are digital like 24/7. I'm like, that's not the point.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Mm-hmm. Copy that, paste that there. Or hell, even what I'm doing right now, where I would tell students, don't use gradients. They're kind of lazy. But you use gradients and fill and like opacity changes thing all the time. Artist Steven writes, I like your style because it's not my style. I also appreciate other people's work though. Oh, well, thanks, Steven. And I'm hoping that's yeah, because that's pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's the reason to appreciate other people's art styles is, hey, I don't do the thing. At least I don't do the thing like you. Alright, and I guess for the rest of the evening, we're going to listen to Jump Up Superstar. Because we're not, simply because we're not going to be on for very much longer. You do. Ba-ba-dee-da-bow-down-down. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. What was I doing to have our arts appreciated?
Alright, what layer is this on? Meh? ¿Qué pasa?
I said I think I'm going to work on something for the Patreon page tonight.
That sounds like a plan. You're on to me, oh yeah. To the air. Up to the air. One of these doesn't want to learn the lyrics to that song. Alright, let me finish this panel and then we're going to call it a night. GS. Patreon. Rather, skip pat. Promo. P01. Crim fly. 01. Let's do the Odyssey. Odyssey, yes, Odyssey. I love how the bass line to the song, and you can't hear it drastic, but the bass line is the theme to Donkey Kong. And then Steven writes, they are I use gradients all the time. They are lazy, and that's why I use them. Well, the key is, do you use them right? And I'm going to assume you do. Because otherwise you wouldn't be bragging about it if you didn't. Needs a crew.
Really?
Okay.
Really, no.
What about gradients?
I know plenty of people who use things wrong and brag.
Well, that's true too. But I'm not going to insult Steven on the stream. Alright, so on that note, that's actually the end of the stream for tonight. So let me hit stop recording. Let's hit save. Because we did reach our mark, 9:47 or 44 apparently. Alright, because I didn't straight up reset the stream. I just kind of like continued on from where I was. So we're going to call it a night. I really need an end screen for this. So, Steven, thank you for joining the skip stream. Righteous Greek, thank you also for joining the skip stream. Let's see who's still left tonight. So, Art of Steven, best ever, Drastic Action, thank you guys for popping by the skip stream tonight. The next stream will be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to whenever, usually 10 o'clock, but I am flexible. We can go till mid, to whenever. Steven writes, that was fun. Have a great night. Yay. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next skip stream. Have a good evening.